Der Brite Alastair ist seit 2013 Designchef bei Logitech und zuständig für das Design sämtlicher Produkte und Marken. Er hat schon früh die Bedeutung des Designs für Innovationen erkannt und zusammen mit seinem Team eine neue Identität für Logitech geschaffen. Sein kreativer Geist hat dazu beigetragen, im Unternehmen eine Innovationskultur zu etablieren und die Firma neu zu positionieren. Alastair Curtis, what does a Chief Design Officer do?
I think the important thing as a design officer is, one, you build a design organization, two, you lead creatively for the company, and three, you are driving an agenda as far as a design culture as well.
As a Chief Design Officer, you say you have to build an environment in which change becomes part of the everyday culture. How do you do that? How do you start these processes?
It takes time. I mean, if you look at Logitech, we're 4 years into the organization, or 4 years into Logitech. We're only now at a position where I think we're now starting to change the system and change the culture. One of the things we're doing is we do design camps. So we do design camps all around the world, bringing all of the different people together and actually give them tools to think differently and work differently. And actually, as part of that, get them to embrace and understand the consumer.
You're a big enough company to do that. Can smaller companies do something similar?
I think smaller companies, a startup almost does it by default. A startup does it by nature of you've got all of the people working together from the get-go. I think as you scale, I think small companies can do it as long as they recognize it's something that's critical, and it's something that's critical to them actually innovating in a more meaningful way.
So the challenges actually lie with the bigger companies, that they have a harder time generating change.
I think it's 10 times harder for a big company, because with a big company you've got a very incumbent mentality and a very incumbent way of working. So to change the company of let's say a large company, it's almost a 3 to 5 year plan.
How do you start such a plan? Who starts such a plan?
It starts with the CEO. The CEO first and foremost has to believe in design and embrace design. They have to recognize the value of design. Design isn't there just to make things look pretty. Design is there to provide a unique lens on the world, and it's a unique lens that's put on top of their lens and top of everyone else's lens. It's not to say, okay, I've hired designers, you solve the problem. It's actually about embracing the consumer through design.
What are some of the successes you've been able to achieve at Logitech with exactly that mindset?
Well, I think if you look at Logitech over a 4 year period, the new CEO joined 5 years ago, Bracken Darrell. I joined 4 years ago. We've built a design team from scratch. There was no design team 4 years ago. We now have 50 plus creatives all over the world. And if you go back 4 years ago, we hired all externals. Now we're doing all of the design work internally. And we're starting to win a significant amount of design awards, which I think is an external reference point. And on top of that, we are now seeing the company think and work differently.
Those are the successes until today. What are some of the plans for the next few months and years within Logitech?
I wish I could tell you. I think the future's super bright for Logitech. We've put down great foundations. We have now a design organization working across the company. We're integrated into all of the businesses. So I think we're now in a position where we can make bigger bets and bigger breakthrough products.
Keeping our fingers crossed for you, Alastair Curtis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Und wenn Sie weitere Informationen möchten zu den NZZ X-Days, dann gehen Sie online auf www.nzz-xdays.com.